Welcome to the final episode of my Two Oceans video series. Day 27. Back home in Erie County, New York. But first, the road so far. Well, here I am at a Red Roof Inn, and I got rained out, and that's why I'm here. So I checked in at about 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna get going soon. All I wanted to do was go home. I would have been home last night if it wasn't for the rain. I got drenched, absolutely drenched. It is 8 a.m. Wednesday, August 7th.
Have a nice trip.
Thanks. And the mileage is 324.1 from yesterday. Now leaving Red Roof Inn, Akron, Summit County, Ohio. I-77 north. Very foggy morning. I-76 east. Brimfield, Ohio. Still in Ohio. The rain pretty much held off until just before I got home. There was a little, I remember, somewhere in here. Not the way it poured just before I got home. It was pretty bad, but I was off the thruway then.
You've heard of Rubinoff and his violin, Ted Lewis and his clarinet, of course you've heard of him. Perhaps you like piano when Ellington plays that thing. Or maybe it's the organ, of which there's Crawford's king. You can have old Pete and his piccolo, or others you can get. 'Cause when it comes to music, you ain't heard nothing yet. Like the birds that sing in the month of May, that's the way it sounds when he hits his A. That Slip-Horn Sam and his old trombone. With a little slide of his stand-up horn, he'll make you see a bright spring morn. That Slip-Horn Sam and his old trombone. Just a change of tone and a different strain, with a touch of a minor key. You feel all alone out in the rain, no one for company.
I-80 east. I think this is the last thing I'm on before I hit the 90. Maybe I don't remember right, but I think that's the case.
When he gets out and goes to town, he does his stuff and it brings him down. That Slip-Horn Sam and his old trombone. Now here's how Sam learned to play trombone. He 10 easy lessons right at home. He practiced hard for years.
Trumbull County, Ohio.
And finally finished lesson number 3. And this is the way he played. After 6 months' time, he learned new tricks and finally mastered lesson number 6, and this is the way he played. He practiced hard, and in 2 years' time, he at last arrived at lesson number 9, and this is the way he played. After lesson number 10, the boy left home. Got a job with a band and ideas all his own, and this is the way he played. He blows through here, and the music goes round and round. Just a change of tone and a different strain with the touch of a minor key. You feel all alone out in the rain, no one for company. And when he gets hot and goes to town, he does his stuff and it brings him down. That's
Pennsylvania. Welcome to Pennsylvania. Pursue your happiness. So you got about 10 minutes to pursue your happiness. And there is the border. And the Pennsylvania welcome sign is just to the right. It's right there. And we move on. This is another two border day. That was the first one. The next one's going to be New York.
Slip-on Sam and his old trombone.
Right now we're going through the small part of Pennsylvania that juts out into between Ohio and New York.
Got a brand new suit, got a brand new tie, got a brand new twinkle in my eye. Do you know the reason why? Got a brand new girl and a wounded shoe. She's the reason I got a brand new tie and a brand new suit. When I'm with her, gotta look my best, put on my tan shoes, raise pants, double-breasted vest, go to wear my...
I-79 north. Nope, I guess there is a little more maneuvering before I get on the 90. Incidentally, as I was looking at things on Google Earth, I never knew this, but the 90 goes all the way from the East Coast in New York all the way to Seattle, Washington. I didn't realize that. I would think that makes it probably the longest interstate in the country. Oh, I think this was an emergency. I had to find a place. Yeah. Yep. And then I get back on and leave. Back to the thruway. I just had this uncontrollable urge to stop and look at a dirt road, so you just did that with me. Meadville, Pennsylvania, or maybe it's Meadville. Meadville, I think it's pronounced. And I'm going to zoom in here because you never know what you're going to see when you leave a camera running. And I always like to take note of anything unusual. So here's Invasion of the Kittens in time lapse. It looks like a white one, a gray one, and a black one. So that's a pretty good combination. There's one over there still by the road. Unless, if you're looking at this on a phone, it's no point. I don't make my stuff to be watched on a phone, but everybody does anyway. And I'm going to be going along my way very soon. One more guest appearance from the white one, and the other guy just left. Okay. Back on the interstate. Looks like a dark, dreary day, but I don't believe it was cold. I might have had my jacket on in case it rained, but most of the trip was in the 80s and 90s. Crawford County, Pennsylvania. Rest stop. There's the time it rained before I got home. It wasn't much though.
I've dined in every swell cafe, from Mexico to Maine. I've lunched in many ritzy clubs, where all the rich guys ever...
I-90 East. So somewhere up here I end up crossing the border into New York. Erie County, Pennsylvania. Still Erie County. The whole Pennsylvania on this ride was Erie County, Pennsylvania. It's a big county, and actually Erie County, New York is a big county too.
I've gobbled pastries by the peck, the finest tarts of France, but never have I had enough romance. I love griddle cakes, country sausage, a strip of bacon or two, but I'd rather go without breakfast and feast my eyes on you. Baked potatoes and sliced tomatoes are swell with savory stew, but I'll take a dinner plate empty and feast my eyes on you. Watermelon and ice cream, chicken livers and breast, I'll admit that I like them, but lovin's what I love the best. Apple dumpling and suet pudding are very tasty, it's true, but I'll give the goodies the go by and feast my eyes on
There we go, New York. Welcome to New York. As we dive into the border spot. There we are. And that's the road. And there's the sign we're just now looking at. So I'm technically already in New York at the time you saw that sign.
Let's have strawberry shortcake, that's my daily request. I love strawberry shortcake, but lovin's what I love the best. Orange marmalade, pickled peaches are very tasty, it's true. But I'll give the goodies the go-by and feast my eyes on you.
Chautauqua County, New York. Note the clouds. Another stop. Looks like I backed up and went through the right way.
You've heard of Rubinoff and his violin, Ted Lewis and his clarinet, of course you've heard of him. Perhaps you like piano when Ellington plays that thing. Or maybe it's the organ of which says Crawford's king. You can have old Pete and his piccolo, or others you can get. 'Cause when it comes to music, you ain't heard nothing yet. Like the birds that sing in the month of May, that's the way it sounds when he hits his A. That's Slip-Horn Sam and his old trombone. With a little slide of his stand-up horn, he'll make you see a bright spring morn. That's Slip-Horn Sam and his old trombone. Just a change of tone and a different strain, with a touch of a minor key. You feel all alone out in the rain, no one for company. When he gets hot and goes to town, he does his stuff and it brings him down. That's Slip-Horn Sam and his old trombone. Now here's how Sam learned to play trombone. In 10 easy lessons right at home. He practiced hard for
Erie County, New York. That is my county. Until this point, I was pretty much on the whole trip on roads that I had never been on before. And this is the first time in 27 days that I recognized the roads and the scenery. Just incidentally.
you see and finally finished lesson number 3. And this is the way he played. After 6 months' time, he learned new tricks and finally mastered lesson number 6. And this is the way he played. He practiced hard, and in 2 years' time, he at last arrived at...
Now there's a point ahead here at which you can see a downpour way up. Okay, I just got off the 90, I think. Or maybe I'm still on the 90. Off the toll section, anyway. You'll see a really dark area up ahead, and I actually head right for it. I didn't know when I saw it up ahead that that was my exit from the thruway. But right up until the last exit of my trip, the last thruway exit, as soon as I'm on that exit, it just dumped rain on me. It was like, welcome home. I-290 West, almost home. And see how dark it's getting now. And see the area where the dark touches the ground straight up? We get back to it. Trust me. And this is where the exit, this is the beginning of the last exit, Niagara Falls Boulevard. And after this, you will see immediately the rain starts. Ta-da! Niagara Falls Boulevard. Welcome home. I was drenched by the time I got home. Completely soaked. Now, a couple points of interest. On the right is Kenmore Senior High School. That is where I went to high school. And then years later, I worked there for 10 years in maintenance. And on the right, you see a senior apartment complex standing now where my elementary school used to be. And that is where I decided to stop it, because I just don't pull down my street and up into my driveway on video. Not that if somebody wanted to find out where I lived, they couldn't figure it out, but I just cut it off there. But anyway, that is the end of the Two Oceans journey. If you've watched any of them, thank you. If you've watched this one, thank you. And coming up next is my trip to Tennessee. And there will be little, if any, time lapse. I don't think there is any time lapse on it. So thank you. Please like and subscribe.